In the previous episode of Down the Rabbit Hole, we went back to a moment pre-2019 election when Boris Johnson had been recorded having an altercation with his partner Carrie Symonds by his neighbour.
A neighbour told The Guardian they heard a woman screaming followed by slamming and banging. At one point, Symonds could be heard telling Johnson
to get off me
and
get out of my flat.
I think what people have come here today, seductive interviewer, there you are. I think people have. I don't think they want to hear about that kind of thing.
Actually, they did.
Unless I'm wrong, I think. Forgive me.
And in an attempt to show that all was well, a photo was released to the press. It was this photo, with the claims that the two were still loved up, with the row bringing them closer together. The only problem was that speculation began to grow that the photo had been taken before the actual argument occurred. Listen to Johnson being interviewed at the time by Nick Ferrari on this matter and observe Johnson's obfuscation as he wriggles not to admit the truth.
And said, come on, the public have a right to know. And I've said, well, actually, the difficulty is that the minute you say one thing, you obviously are bringing people, your loved ones, your family, into the public domain in a way that is not fair.
Then why the picture today?
Newspapers will print whatever they're going to print.
Well, where did it come
from?
What
I want to do is
Boris
talk
Johnson,
about...
Where did the picture come
from?
The
longer we spend...
No, we'll come to that. Don't worry. We've got 20 minutes to do this.
Well, then
we've got a couple... Where did the picture come from?
The longer we spend... on things extraneous...
Did you know of its publication?
The longer we spend on things extraneous to what I want to do for this
Is it
country,
actually you, or is it Ed Sheeran?
The bigger the waste of time.
Where has the picture come from?
Look, I'm not going to ask...
Are you happy with it in the majority of the front pages?
Actually, because I've been so busy, I've already given several speeches this morning, or at least one speech this morning. I haven't seen the majority.
Well,
of
I'm
the front
showing it
pages.
to you now. So there we are. Are you happy with that?
I think the longer we spend, I can't determine what the newspapers decide to.
But you knew the picture was being put out there.
I can't determine what the newspapers.
That's a yes or no, and then we'll move on, Mr. Johnson.
I can't determine what the newspapers.
Did you know the picture? This has nothing to do with your. Did you know the picture was being put out there, Mr. Johnson?
There are all sorts of pictures of me out on the internet, which pop up from time to time.
Did you know this picture was being put out?
I am aware of all sorts of pictures of me out on the internet. And it is entirely up to newspapers to decide what they want to print. But the longer we spend on this,
I'm guaranteeing you 20 minutes.
Let's get on.
I'm guaranteeing that. Did you know this picture was out there?
Of course, I knew that there was a picture like that in existence,
and you knew it was put out yesterday.
Whether it was the decision of it's up entirely up to newspapers to decide what they want to print.
When was it taken?
Well, I don't listen. So
that's a state secret.
You're asking me.
So that's a state secret when the picture was taken. So when was it taken?
It's not a state secret. It just happens to be something that I don't want to get into.
Because you won't even tell me when the picture was taken.
No, why should I?
Because it's not recent, is it? Your hair in this photograph is not your hair currently, is it?
If I may say so, this conversation is now descending into.
Well, I'll be the judge of that. Thank you. It's currently the Nick Ferrari show. Currently, if you come for this job, that might change as well. Who knows? But if the ball were to come out of the back of the scrum, this is quite an old picture, isn't it?
Nick, I'm not going to comment.
Well, I'm telling. It's before the haircut you had from the Turkish chap.
It would be. No, you're wrong about that because I no longer have my hair. Unfortunately, I no longer have my haircut by the Turkish chap. I have my haircut by a very, very nice person called Kelly, or possibly tomorrow.
When did you last have your haircut?
You have to ask Kelly or tomorrow. It was quite recently, actually. Anyway,
what? 3 weeks? 6 weeks? 8 weeks?
Honestly, this is beyond Saturday. This is beyond Saturday. We have a
that's what we're coming to.
We have a fantastic prospect before us.
So this is at least 6 weeks old. This picture,
mate. I'm not going to comment on the antiquity.
Can we get to
the
questions, please, Mr.
I'm not going to comment on the
antiquity
or the provenance of some photo that newspapers decide to put on their front pages.
Click here to ask, how many children has Johnson got?